everyone who has turned up and the people that will inevitably pop in and out to Ram's Tavern. This is like our launch event for the Dino-Dogs in Portals, which is a very exciting moment for us to get all 10,000 Dino-Dogs into Portals. So what we wanted to do was have like a little event where we could get people come in, try out their Dino-Dogs, but also have a little talk about the process of getting the avatars ready for this situation. So yeah, it's been really exciting to get us to this point, and one of the people who have been quite instrumental for that is obviously the Portals team themselves, and we have Bus here with us today, who will speak to in regards to like different things, getting the Dino-Dogs into Portals, and what kind of big moment for this is as well. Just wanted to highlight that we also have a competition at the moment. Basically, you just need to take a screen grab of any dinosaurs or Dino-Dogs, or even a video, and if you just post that to Twitter and tag Dino-Dogs in there, you can get yourself a Dino-Dog if you win. So that's a quite cool thing to do. So at the moment, the chat is closed to everyone, but you can write messages in the chat if you have any questions. Towards the end, we'll probably open it up as well for questions if people have that. So that's just a kind of introduction. As I say, we've got Bus here from Portals as well, so we'll be speaking to Bus throughout this kind of AMA, so to speak. So I think the best thing to do is probably pass over to Adam, who is the founder of Dino-Dogs, but also is the genius creator behind Dino-Dogs. And is actually responsible for all these avatars that you can see here. So yeah, if I pass over to you, Adam, and maybe you can go through a bit of what it's taken to get to where we are today.
I will say thank you, and I'm going to apologise for my mic, which sounds a bit muffled, but I have to buy a new mic. I just want to say how incredible this is. I mean, there was a point where I think Bus sent us the link so we could swap avatar. We could finally integrate all the avatars and swap through the ones in our wallet, and it sounds super soppy. And it sounds like I'm exaggerating, but it did bring me close to tears because it's been 3 years in the making. And I'm kind of just proud of everyone involved in the project. So it's a milestone, and just to be in here and see people jump in, and I've already seen people swap avatars from the one they came in on. Mr. Rides is jumping on me. I can jump on you, buddy. Anyway, so yeah, it's amazing to see all these dinos in here, and I hope they become more prolific throughout the Portals universe. So yeah, talking about getting to this point, so I got to say, we did not necessarily plan for Portals to be the first community for us to integrate completely with, but it's a testament to how much of a robust platform they've built, that it was possible here. So we built all the 3D traits for Network, and they're built for Unreal, which is why they've got nice, displacement detail and sculptural detail on them. And then we thought, oh well, once we built them for Unreal, we can integrate to Portals. Not actually true. They're all usable traits, but we have to provide like web-friendly stuff for Portals. And so there began a process of, we'd already built like a handful of avatars to use in Portals, but I thought it would be a simple switch over, but no, we actually had to change the entire system, because the network system was going to be a base dino, and then you'll equip the collar, you'll equip the hat, you'll equip the teeth. But what we've actually done, and this is the thing that we spent the first quarter of this year doing, was we've basically scripted it using Python, so that you open up Blender, and we've written a Python script to read all the JSON files and read the JSON, assign the skin, and then attach the hat, the teeth, the collar from your file. and it's an insanely complex script, and it took us several weeks and months to get it working. But the counterpoint was to build everything individually would have taken months and months and months and months. And I know other projects that have done that. And so now that we have this system in place, it's insane. Like, we could use it to completely rewrite. It takes about 4 hours to make every dino combination. So at any point, if we decide that we're going to make a whole bunch of new dinos or change the metadata or do anything, we can regenerate the whole collection. So very pleased with that. I was showing Jamie, I was showing Brian, yeah, you can. It's just so robust. So I'm super proud of that. Yeah, I've waffled on for a bit now. Someone's asking how to wear a dino. Well, my friend, you need to go to Magic Eden and buy yourself a dino, any 3D dino, and if it's in your collection, you can equip it.
I think you can also, there is a standard one that you can get. So if you just go to change your avatar, there should be an option to have a room avatar. So if you just select the room avatar, you can choose one of those as well. You
can try a sample one. But I recommend you buy your own, because then you'll have a completely unique one. Right, Jamie, anything else you want to run past me? I can't remember if I've covered everything there.
No, that was kind of basically it. Just, I think you've kind of covered everything. We obviously, with the Portals team, it's been very kind of easy for us to kind of communicate with them. I think that's been a highlight for us, is being able to get this pushed out quicker than we thought it could. Once we, as you said, once we got like the script together and stuff like that, it was.
I will say, this is the amazing thing. So once we generated all the .glb files, I think we reached out to we've got chat going with the Portals team, reached out, and it was as simple as saying, oh, here are the files. And then Bus was like, yeah, okay, we'll integrate it. And that was it. Which I've had, I'm not going to lie, I've had years of conversation with Network on how to do it and who's available to do this, and they've had mods and stuff come, not mods, developers come and go, and just to have the response of, okay, great, thanks, we'll integrate them. It's hilarious. Bas, I don't know if there's anything what your end of this was like. Was it difficult?
I think the hardest thing about avatars across the board is back in like 2021, 2022, when metaverse was like really the strong narrative, there was all these collections that wanted to get 3D avatars done, but didn't really actually have the teams or capabilities to do it. And so what they would do is they would, at least they'd come to Portals and they'd be like, hey, we want 3D avatars. Can you make them for us? And as you know, having gone through this process, it's not a small task to make 10,000 avatars for a collection. It's pretty substantial undertaking. And so if the avatars are already made in GLB format, the integration into Portals is super easy. It takes, 30 minutes, half an hour to an hour. But the most difficult part is the work that goes into the rigging, to making sure all the trait combinations work, and the script that handles, which traits go together, which ones don't. And so the fact that the Dinodawg team is able to handle all of that, it makes our job to integrate it super easy.
Yeah, that's. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I will say that we notice we're already working on version 2. So I had Jamie and Brian and myself. As we were making them, we were making a list of, this could be better, that could be better. Like, this trait doesn't look quite right. And so the benefit of the system we have here is that we own and host those avatars. The Portals team has access to that hosting location. But if we want to improve an avatar or change it or do something with it, we can just update what we've got. And that's a little bit of what I was mentioning earlier about how this scripted system is brilliant, because it allows us to make those changes to every avatar whenever something's broken. So you'll see, like, one of the things on the hit list is if you've got a Dinodawg avatar equipped and you move, if you run or move forward, the collar might intersect the back of the neck. I know that's because of the position in the rig needs to be adjusted, but I can do that and update everything in about 4 hours. So we've got a list of version 2 updates coming, which will just improve any clashes or anything not working. So I think this system is incredible. And the other thing is to mention is that now that we've got them all as GLB files, basically Portals has opened the door for us to integrate with other projects. So having GLB files is going to allow us to integrate with Nifty Island, for example. So again, I mean, big props to Portals just for being a team that is, so capable of doing this and kind of showing us a way to have more accessible avatars than what we were waiting in Unreal to happen. Jamie, back to you.
Adam, I want to ask you real quick
if
you can give a quick background on your history as an artist, because I know when I first came across Dinodawgs, that background was something that was super amazing to find out. And I know there's a lot of new people in here who maybe aren't familiar with your background in the 3D space and how you came into Web3 and all of that.
That's nice of you, Bess. It's been a while since I've had to do that because this is such a it's a great for us to expose to such a wider community. And we've gone through a transition where someone's just said those don't look like clay notes. That's hilarious. I actually know the team that make clay notes because they're also from a VFX background. So I'll give you the background, which is that I work in visual effects for TV, for film, commercials. I'm about 20 years into the industry, and I'm a 3D modeler by trade, but certainly working on Dinodawgs, I've had to pick up rigging and animation and all kinds of other stuff. But my background is a 3D modeler, and I have worked on Harvey Dent for The Dark Knight. I was part of the team that made Rocket Raccoon for the Guardians of the Galaxy. I just spent 3 years at Industrial Light and Magic, working on Ant-Man and Venom and the Lord of the Rings TV show. So I just made a bunch of symbiotes for the last Venom movie, which was super exciting. I've just done 2 weeks on The Witcher season 4. I mean, I'm now working freelance, so I basically anyone can hire me as opposed to being attached to a company. But yeah, I've had a long history in visual effects that's been super exciting and very varied creatures and environments and all kinds of different things. But this project was something that the other founder on this project is my brother James, who recently departed the project. And well, he's not departed. We've just let him take a back seat. And we built this together as a passion project, as a throwback to the cartoons of when we were growing up. And it started with a 2D collection, and one of the rewards of holding and staking our 2D collection was that at some point I said to everyone, right, I'm going to put my 3D skills to use, and we previewed the 3D quite early. I'm going to make a larger 3D collection, and here we are so many years later with a fully functional avatar-based 3D. This is why this is such a thrill to me. Like, we started this as just like an idea. It's very rare that I get to do personal projects. So often I'm building the vision of someone else, and to be able to design and create all these different characters with a rich lore and history. And the other thing I love about Dinodawgs is they just have so much, just physically they have so much character, the look of them, and so this is just so cool for me to see. But yeah, my background is I work in special effects for film and all kinds of jazz. I'm happy to answer questions on that subject.
Winning an Oscar.
Sorry? Oh, I always forget about that. You know what? It's funny. We always say I've got photos of me holding that, a couple of Oscars, because the Golden Compass won Best Visual Effects back in 2007, amazingly up against Transformers, which I feel was a political thing. But anyway, so that also won a BAFTA, so I've got photos of those. And then I also, a couple of years back, the team won an Oscar for Tenet, which is a Christopher Nolan film about going forwards and backwards through time. And on that one, I was the asset supervisor for the entire film. And so that one, I mean, honestly, I feel very close to that one. But it's not a creature project. My passion is creatures. So there we go.
Yeah. So I think that's really lovely to hear and sums up like what you bring to Dino Dogs is like, because it's your passion project as well. Like a lot of these ideas that we come up with and you come up with, we can kind of implement quite quickly because you have the expertise to go and do that. And one of the things is kind of being showcased right now.
I was just about to say exactly that. These are concepts for weapons on the screen, which is something we're looking at, making hand equipable items specifically for portals. So
yeah, so that I mean that's one of the things that we're looking at. There's many things that we've kind of been looking into. Another thing is I don't know if anyone noticed the avatar that I'm displaying here is slightly different to all the other avatars. I don't know if you want to kind of speak about
is that in the
that
collection?
That's not in the collection. No.
Okay, so Jamie is sporting a demo of a lava dino. We've teased lava dinos for a while. So the one of ones in the 3D collection are the Iceborne, which Brian is rocking. He's rocking an Iceborne. There's also a couple of Iceborne just in the bar hanging out, and you can tell them by their icy looking skin. They're all the one of ones. Jamie is rocking the first ever lava dino avatar. So one of the things that we've tasked ourselves with this year, and I will say that having Brian and Jamie as full-time managers of the project has really enabled us to move bigger strides this year, so many bigger strides. But one of the things we've been discussing is how to bring more eyes and value back to the project, and we decided that 10,000 is just too big, is the short answer. We want the floor price to go up, we want the rarity to go up, and so one of the things we've talked about is to increase rarity is a burn and reward system. And so we're discussing the exact mechanics and how it would work, but the idea would be to sacrifice 9 to promote 1. So you would burn 9 dinos of whatever rarity you want, but I would probably encourage a common, in order to create yourself a super rare lava dino. And at the moment, power-ups, as Buzz says, at the moment the idea would be to basically you would nominate a dino. So if you had, like Bus is rocking the poison arrow dino over there, you would say, right, I want this one to be upgraded. So he would get a lavafied version of his skin, and then that should increase rarity. So that's the notion. Theoretically, it's all possible. Jamie is testing a skin, so we know they're doable. So that is something we will be working on later in the year. So there's a little bit of alpha, a little bit of sneak peek. But I think our priority for this first quarter has 100% been getting this portal avatar integration up and running. Back to you, Jamie.
Adam, do you want to talk about the traits and the artwork of the 3D collection itself? I know that the collection is pretty extensive in terms of quantity of traits, varieties. I believe there's an insane number of one-of-ones. Do you want to go through just that process of, deciding which traits to include, how you narrowed it down to the list that you have today, favorite traits, least favorite traits, anything else you want to discuss there?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. That's a great question. There are traits that I've occasionally previewed in our Discord that didn't make the cut. There was a lot of rapid prototyping. I will say that the first round of 3D traits, we decided that they were 3D pretty much only from one angle. And so when we pushed ahead with the avatar creation, I had to remake everything to be fully 3D. So you can, there's often a phrase we use in visual effects called dress to camera. And so because all the portraits are only from one angle, a lot of the original 3D traits, if you spun the camera around, they'd look ridiculous, or they'd intersect the model, or various things like that. And so I've got renders of things that we tried very quickly, just knocking out ideas of traits that didn't make it. For example, there was a graffiti skin that I loved, but James was not a fan of.
I like
So
the graffiti
you
skin.
love the graffiti skin, so I'll maybe preview that. But it was a dinosaur covered in graffiti. We tried a furry one. It did not work, and I'm quite glad it didn't work. So there's lots of different things. One of my favorite traits is the razor blade teeth, and I kept saying I kept saying to James at the time, "You're gonna love this," and he was like, "No, this sounds really creepy." And then I did it, and anything metallic that you render in a 3D package, just because it responds to the environment. So I'm rocking the gold dino, and then you can see Brian's got the ice dino, and they both have much more reflective skins. And as I move around the room, it just looks incredible. So I always love anything that's not matte. Like a skin is hard to make look good when it doesn't pick up any reflection. And so yeah, I love the metal skins. I love the metal teeth. One of the nice things about the lava skin is that it's going to allow us to do glows more often. So you can see Jamie, his lava skin's got a bit of an emission to it. But I think generally the thing I love about the dino, I've always loved the frogs. The poison skin has always been one of my favorites. Also, it's one of the skins that's more all over the body. And so again, one of the things we're going to do in our version 2 update of the avatars is that we've made a short list of certain skins. I'm trying to think if there's any in here that don't extend enough down the body. So I think one of the other frog skin is only really the head and the neck. So that we'll be looking to improve some of the skins and make them a little more all over interesting. I think there's 2 or 3. The whale skin maybe a bit more. Yeah, stuff like that. But yeah, no, I mean, anything unusual for me. A lot of people don't like the baseball caps. I don't know why. I love the horns. I've always loved all the horns. The Iceborne with their skulls on the head. I love those. I think that generally the hats are one of the areas I had the most fun. I'm going to say something controversial. I don't like the crystal collars. They're too big.
But also, don't forget that the crystal collars glow in the dark.
They
and
do.
So do the Iceborne. So that's what makes them super cool.
They are one of the few accessories that glows in the dark. Yes, that's very true.
I think Brian is our guide to go to when we're talking about cool traits. He knows exactly what the cool ones are. So sometimes we'll say an idea and Brian will be like, "Yeah, this make it really cool by doing this," and then we're like, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense."
I will say Dewhirst is showcasing a bunch of different avatars, but he's currently got a frog in his mouth, and that is definitely one of my favourite mouth traits, the frog in the mouth, because that went on to inspire. In fact, there's another one with syrup. So those 2 mouth traits both went on to inspire weapons, which is the syrup gun and the frog launcher, which I still want to bring to fruition. But at the moment, we're looking at melee weapons, and actually at some point the video will loop back round to it, but the melee weapons are also going to be inspired by the lore. So we have a waffle shield, which is sort of inspired by the pancake on the head trait. We have a mace that I haven't shown yet that is inspired by the 8-ball eye that's got a big 8-ball on the end of it. We're looking at a mushroom staff inspired by the mushroom on the head trait. What are the other ones we've done? Crystal staff, obviously. We've got quite a lot of devout crystal followers. I did want to do something with popsicles, but I've not thought of what that would be as a weapon. So I'm trying to think, what else did I show, guys? What other? Anyway, there's a bunch of concepts. Oh, they're behind me right now. I see. Yeah, the pancake shield. That's good fun with syrup dripping down it. So everything is always inspired by the more. If the community picks up on a trait and creates a following, we will add it to the lore, 100%, or we will double down on it, so to speak.
But actually, jump in there. Is there a status on handheld weapons for other Avatar collections? Obviously, Adam's been showcasing a couple of those, and would love to get that into kind of the play to mint game we're creating.
Handheld weapons are usable internally, but we haven't opened it up to our builders yet, and solely because we are anticipating that a lot of our creators are going to want to make the weapons into NFTs or tokens. And so we have our upcoming TGE where we'll sort of start rolling out our asset economy and there will be specific guidelines on how that works, and so we're waiting until that rolls out before we start opening up a lot of the items that we anticipate people will want to tokenize, including wearables, collectibles, definitely weapons, and that sort of thing.
Vehicles.
Yeah.
Vehicles, yeah.
I got a bit cheeky on the on X and replied to one of your tweets, Bus, with a dino vehicle that I'm thinking of building.
I thought I remembered you building something like a tank a few years ago as well.
There was a hover car for Carnage Crew that never came to fruition, and yes, there's another concept that is more tank-like, and I probably leaked it over the years anyway, but they're just concepts. So I am game to make some sort of cart or vehicle at some point, but it's super exciting to hear you guys discuss that openly, on X and on the Discord, because it makes us excited about the potential of what we could do, and give the community more, with their Dinodogs. So I'm excited by it. I'm really excited by it.
I'm really excited about the vehicles. We just started testing those sort of this week, and the stuff I'm seeing is already super cool. I know our builders have kind of in the past hacked their way into vehicles where they were basically just uploading unrigged cars as avatars, and
that's funny.
We finally were like, oh, we need to start adding them. So we started with they're in the current state, it's unrigged vehicles, so hover vehicles work well. We're not showing tire animations basically, so
Rubik's cubes don't work though, just to let you know.
Yeah, there's a few things that I think we were finding yesterday that don't work. I think if they're parented weird in Blender, for some reason that was breaking them. So that's still in its pretty early development, but we do want to get to the point where anyone can kind of just upload a vehicle and then start driving it around.
But I mean, that's one of the good things and highlights about Portals as well, is that you are so open with what you do. It allows people who want to create to be able to create. I know there's been many times where I've wanted to create something and I've been like, I can vividly remember making a game that had a sticky surface that I wanted it to slow down the characters. I asked you guys whether you could do it, and then like within a week you had turned it around and implemented it, and then everyone could use it. So it's a credit that like you allow these tools and you give builders the opportunity to test these features out, and then everyone can use them, because it just improves the experience and makes creating games more immersive.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things that became really apparent. Actually, even before I was on the team, I remember when, and maybe you remember this, maybe you don't, but back when districts were first teased, and we were just starting to get to more expansive building tools, and up until that time, all of the creators were kind of like, building a teleport down, exiting their little apartment, and then building on top of these building cubes. And I think what we found in the, sort of that iteration of things is like, the creators need the tools to do what they can do, and they'll build really cool things. You just need to listen to hear like what they're after and build the tooling around it. And that's worked really well. I think we've gone from, these janky little apartments to, anyone can build any type of game now. And the tools will continue to get better. So that's really exciting, looking at like where we're headed and the type of experiences we'll start to see pop up.
Awesome.
Exactly. I think that kind of it's quite a good kind of key to maybe talk a little bit about what Dinodawg has been doing in the background, specifically in Portals. So I think you can kind of see on the screen here. This is our first Dinodawg game that we're sneaking here in the background, and it's been really cool to be able to build a game with another person, because I've done a lot of building like on my own. So Brian has been quite creative in regards to getting a lot of the kind of design elements in there. So like decorating it, making it feel kind of spooky. So this is what the game's be called the Heart of Rover, and there'll be more details coming out once we've finalised it. It's getting close to completion, and what you can kind of see here is a bit different from maybe what other games have been done on Portals, because Portals, there's been a lot of obviously obstacle-based games, that sort of kind of speed run thing. What we wanted with Dinodawg is to be able to open it up to more players, so it's more of an adventure-based game. It's targeted to be not super challenging, so people can get frustrated about it, but it's more of a case of having fun. So there's like a start element where you'll have an introduction to tell you why you're kind of down in these sewers and what's going on, and then you'll have basically 3 tasks to unlock a gate to be able to get through to this maze that looks really, really cool with all the graffiti tags. And then once you get to the end, you'll then have a little challenge, and it's basically there to be our first Dinodawg game, to be fun and welcoming for people to play. It's supposed to be a fun game with a bit of a challenge, but not overly challenging. So I think building on Portals is immensely fun for me to do, because I really appreciate the tools and the feedback that I can get directly with the community and the team. But yeah, so this is the game that we'll be bringing out shortly. As I say, I think we're probably around about 85% done on it. It's a lot of now adding different elements to make it more, immersive.
It looks incredible. It looks so good. Every time I pop in,
the game looks awesome.
Every time I pop in, there's more in there. And again, I want to reiterate the big step that Jamie and Brian have taken in developing this. But it's been a huge weight off my mind to not be the only builder on the team. And so it's just that's why we've come so much further this year in such a short amount of time. So, I mean, well done, Jamie. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it. Cool.
But I don't know, Brian, if you want to say anything about how you've found building on Portals, or...
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I was saying to Bas earlier, it's just been... I've had great fun, and I've got no experience in game development. I'm a creative at heart, so to be able to come in here and the hardest part was just learning Blender, but I just used ChatGPT and Blender to import assets and create assets, and it's been an amazing experience. And my wife, for one, can't believe what I can do now, just within a few months of putting some hours in the Blender and ChatGPT and Portals, and it's been super fun. And yeah, I can't believe how awesome it looks at the moment. And it's been super cool to be so creative, and the elements that Portals offers. It's just, and like Jamie was saying, the team is so responsive to feedback. And so when you get to a roadblock, there's always a solution. And the community itself of the builders has been amazing, with the people in there giving options and sharing files and offering help, just that support. And even all the documents that Bas has created to follow, is so much information there. You just got to take the time to look at it. Now it's up to speed. It's just getting more and more exciting, and I can't wait to extend this quest to the next game.
Yeah, exactly. That is this is the first part of what we're aiming to build with Dinodawg, specifically in Portals. We've always had a presence in Portals. We've got Dogtown, but this was the first opportunity for us to build an actual playable game. Well, we've had a mini game in Portals before with Dinodawg, but not a full game. So this will be the first opportunity, but we've already come up with ideas for more feature-length games, ones that would take longer to do. And with all the tools that Portals now provide, it's a case of we can then reward people who complete these games. At the end of the game, having some sort of specific rare item that they can collect or mint. That's the kind of idea that we're aiming for. And I know with Portals, that's something that is achievable. So, I mean, we're in a good place now where what we can do is achievable, and we could do that via Portals. So,
yeah,
do you want to leak what potentially you want to reward people with?
No.
Well, we could.
I mean, I suppose. What are you going to say? Go on. You speak. I'm interrupting.
I was just going to say. Well, we could just say that, Adam, you've been working on a few ideas that is going to be super fun. Well, once they complete this first game.
But I was going to add to say that as someone who is a modeler, an asset creator, it's amazing we're at a point now with Portals where we can make something and then just put it in the game. But equally, the potential to mint it as well is going to be great. Or play to mint is amazing. Like the idea that you play the game and then you might be able to just by doing the experience, you can then walk away. No, there's no transactional fee. You're just you play the game and then you get this thing. It's such a great reward, and we're trying to do something for the Portals community. So you will win a Dinodawg thing for Portals, if that makes sense.
I think it makes sense.
That's fair, right? That makes sense.
Yeah.
We haven't shown you, have we? Have we shown you?
I have not seen it.
Oh, okay. We'll preview in our chat, and then you can tell us if it's a good or a bad idea.
I'm really excited to see you guys building this style of game, because I know it's one of the games that our community really loves. Back when Portals first started, we had the Bronze Key Hunt, which was also a similar adventure style game with puzzles, and that was before Interactive Studio even existed. And then we did the Dragon Level 2 last year, where we gave people the option to run an obstacle course or do a bunch of puzzles, and people loved the puzzles way more.
Yeah, interesting.
So it's really cool to see that you guys are building that style of gameplay, because I think it's one that the community is going to really enjoy going through.
I think storytelling is definitely one of the things we want to focus on. So, I mean, the game is set in the sewers beneath Dogtown. And so it's all part of the story, and we've had the community voted on the 2 characters to include in there. And BJ spent hours coming up with a style of graffiti that is nods to various micro communities within ours, and different traits and different one-of-ones all featured on the graffiti. So I think anything that focuses on storytelling is always going to be like a winner.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's going to be a ton of fun to roll out. Do you guys have a idea for, is the story going to continue along after this to a second piece of it, or are you planning on going and doing more individual stories told that all connect to the larger Dinodawg lore?
So I think there's an option to do both. Like, the way the game will end, it's not like it's cut off for any like sequel. So there could be a potential sequel for this. However, I think because the lore is so rich, there's so many options to build different games and experience based off different elements of the Dinodawg. So I think we have so many options. It's a case of all the options, but trying to fit it in. So
I know when Portals rolled out their sort of Halloween decorations, we did a Halloween makeover of Dogtown, and I think what we'll probably do is release content in line with where we're at in terms of what's coming out, what's happening. So I think, if the lava dinos come to fruition this year, we'd probably want to introduce a sort of lava-based arena within Portals, so you can go and test out your dinos in a place that's relevant. And equally, if we do weapons, I think we'd do a weapon-based something, but it's all part of the richer world. Jamie is the mastermind of this, really, but I've just bend his ear. Jamie, can we have a lava arena?
Yeah. No, but I enjoy doing it, and it's yeah, it sharpens my skills every time I do a new space. There's always, like, if I look back at, it's really funny. Like, I don't know if you can remember Bus and Brian, like back in the day with portals, it was a case of building spaces to look at them. So I can remember making a cinema and like a pool, like a kind of, I think it was like a club, using the templates, and from there to where we're building now, obviously the tools have increased, but it allows builders like myself to sharpen our tools and each time iterate and make things better, to the point where, yeah, it's a game that's based, solely in the browser, that's been made by like one or two people, which is quite incredible to think about.
Yeah. Cool. What else was on our agenda tonight?
Well, I suppose we could just, maybe ask a few questions. I don't know, Brian, if you've got any maybe questions we could ask Bus, or...
I think we're up to a sort of Q&A-esque section, but yeah, Brian, is there anything that we had?
No, I think we covered quite a few. I think, Bas, I saw one of your recent posts about the Portal's AI tools for the interactive studio. Is there any kind of more, obviously I'm excited about that, is there any more information you can share on how that's going to be rolled out or what it actually entails?
The AI tools are really crazy. I think it's maybe one of the things I'm most excited for. I think the approach that we're going to take with the AI tools that maybe is a bit unique is we do have the interactive studio that the AI can interact with. And so I think you'll have a really great combination of being able to prompt an AI like, hey, I need this dungeon set up with these enemies and they have this hit point, and it will go set everything up. And then you can go make manual tweaks without needing to know code by just going in and adjusting the interactive studio settings. We've been discussing internally about the incorporation of other AI tools as well on top of that. So scene generation, asset generation, kind of anything you'd want to do with AI to make building easier, we're going to incorporate. So we'll start rolling those tools out actually pretty soon. We have some demos to showcase some of the capabilities, but we expect it to be a pretty large incremental increase in the amount of building our creators can do. The end goal being that anyone can create a game in minutes, really. So one of the things that you could start thinking about as a builder is like designing maybe asset packs of like, hey, these are all the Dinodawg items, including the styling and all of that. You upload that to an AI, and then the AI can go generate the next level. So lots of exciting things to look forward to, and definitely stay tuned on the Portal's Twitter for some of those demos to start rolling out in the next couple of weeks.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Wow, it's going to be so awesome to use that.
That's very exciting. Very exciting. I love it.
Yeah, I think it's, that's really made me very excited to know that I can jump into that now and help Jamie out a bit more on the building side. Just another quick one. Obviously, Bas, with the upcoming, TGE, and obviously you've been following Chrono Rush and having fun playing that. Like, what have kind of been the key takeaways from the Chrono Rush launch that you can apply to the actual Portals and TGE?
Chrono Rush has been a very interesting case study on sort of like what would the Portals ecosystem look like at a very small level. One of the things that we set out to do with Chrono Rush is just like test gamified launch mechanics, because one of the major things we expect to do is allow our creators to put anything that they create on chain. And so building out that asset economy will include different launch mechanics, different types of assets. So in our light paper, we recently discussed like backed assets versus paired assets, and Chrono Rush is a case study on the Portals token in kind of two major ways. The first one being how it can kind of stimulate individual's creators ecosystem. So what we're going to be doing in the next few weeks with Chrono Rush is things like new Chrono games, Chrono game jams, and being able to use a token to expand into various games that can create demand drivers for those tokens. And then on the other side is with the Chrono launch, we paired Chrono with Soul, but going forward, we could start creating pairings with the Portals token and the game token. And what that does is it actually creates a sync for the Portals token, and it also provides liquidity for that token. And so you can have a system where you're a Portals token holder and you can go buy these different games and bet on these different creators' ecosystems by just going and swapping your Portals tokens for some of that individual's creators' tokens.
Wow, that's blown my mind. That ecosystem play is amazing. That's great to hear. How far you guys are thinking ahead, and all the different avenues. Obviously, the light paper was super interesting to read. So, I think we just, as the team, are just super pumped to be, a part of this wave that you guys are at the front of. So it's very exciting all around, and it's been such a pleasure, like Adam said, working with the Portals team in comparison to everybody else we've been trying to work with. And we're super excited about, like Jamie said, the next game iterations we have in store, and with the tools you're providing, it's really exciting to see what we can achieve.
It'll be exciting to see you guys utilize some of this next asset economy things to expand the Dinodawg ecosystem even larger, because one of the next things we'll be heavily focused on for Portals is also our distribution onboarding of like Web 2 audiences into Portals. And so expanding like the Dinodawg's IP to a completely new audience who's maybe even foreign to Web 3, who can just go and collect frog launchers for fun, or they fall in love with the Dinodawg characters just for the lore that they're introduced through the storytelling you're doing in gameplay. I think it's going to be a really exciting time for these early projects that have already started building games and Portals, and being able to tap into those audiences right away.
Yeah, awesome.
I think you're saying that now, as kind of echoing what Adam said at the beginning. It's obviously we're all kind of part of the Dinodawgs from the get-go, and the lore and how in depth it is. And I've obviously been a fan from the beginning, and now Portals is providing this platform to be able to actually bring to life the kingdom, which we all bought into a couple of years ago. So I'm just super pumped about what the future is going to hold for both projects.
I want to keep an eye out because someone has just bought one on Magic Eden, and I want to see if it's a Portals user coming in, because I've been in the Discord telling people where they can pick them up. And so we're going to keep a lookout for a pink hat wearing red dino, just in case it's a new user who's popped in with their new avatar, because this is a great case study of utility, instant utility in action, Oh, there we go.
Exactly.
Shmijos, whoever, I'm saying his name wrongly, but just picked up a Dinodawg 3D. It's yours, my friend. Hopefully we'll see you turn into that avatar. I love it.
Yeah, and I think what Bus said there is exactly what we are now, focused on. We've now streamlined stuff, and having all three of us together, it seems that we've now been able to push forward and really prioritize what we can actually deliver. And I think as you say, Bus, as the ecosystem expands for Portals, because we're utilizing it straight from like the get-go, we're putting ourselves into a great position to attract more audience. And these are really fun characters. There's a good lore behind them. and it's, you know, how often do you get to play a game with a silly looking, you know, dino? So it's yeah, we're really excited to expand, and that will be right alongside whatever Portals are doing to expand as well, and we can, you know, capitalize on that as well.
Yeah, amazing. I've seen Bus has also posted the link into their Discord, so that's, thank you, Bus. Cool. There was were there any questions in the crowd? I saw Divas put his hand up. Has his hand up.
I think I've got everyone on mute, so I can unmute people, and if people want to, you know, have a little chat, they can. Just bear with me a sec. There you go. Anyone can speak now. So if there is any questions, people can ask. There's obviously, you can ask Bus Portals related questions if he's happy to take any, or any Dinodawg specific questions. We'll be happy to take as well.
I'm just gonna, while we're waiting, I'm just gonna say, Shmijos, whose name I cannot pronounce, kudos to you, my friend. You purchased a dino, and now you are wearing that dino. I love it. Utility in action. This is well, I don't want to say a dream come true for me. It's a bit corny, but it is amazing to see, genuinely. So, welcome to the fold, my friend.
And it's great to see, because, like, you know, that's exactly what you want, and the only thing that's going to happen is that we're going to expand upon this. So, like, having the dino and then having it as an avatar. What Adam said earlier as well is that because we have access to these, I mean, we are in control of these dinos, there's certain things that we can do, such as the lava dinos, as we've spoken about, which can, you know, be implemented in the future. So there's a lot of excitement around what we can do specifically within Portals, and all the tools that are available to us. We're just going to, you know, keep up with and make sure that we utilize them, so all the community can benefit from them as well.
I'm going to say in a minute, CyberArts had his hand up, but also, you know, 3 years ago, a hell of a lot of projects advertised this as like, we're going to do a 3D avatar, we're going to do this, and then you're going to be able to use it, and not I mean, I'm not trying to put other projects down to raise us up, but it's a hell of a lot of work to get this to actually work. And you know, credit to the Portals team for really paving the way. But it's super exciting to now have other projects, including us, beginning. I think OK Bears have done it as well, right? But it's super exciting to have, you know, this as a functioning utility finally. So very exciting to see.
Can I say I really like the Dinodawgs that don't have collars. So the one that, like,
the naked one, the naked ones.
Yeah, I don't know why. Just like,
I'm not a fan myself. I like the collar. CyberArts, did you have a question?
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Love the Dinodawg, super cool. I'm a Tensorian lover as well, because as you can see, me and my friend James here can stop by to see you guys. I might snag one Dinodawg after this. Super cool. I want to ask you who's the guys behind the building of the portal, the maps, and the skins as well. I want to know this guy because I love I'm a builder myself, and I really want to get to know the people that are building as well, with so much talent, much talent as I can see right now. So super cool, man.
I mean, I'm gonna. In the past, it's always been me ringing my own bell saying I do everything, but I got to be honest that all the Portal stuff outside of the avatars, it's Jamie and BJ. But I'm gonna focus on Jamie mostly. I think it is mostly Jamie's work, particularly all the level building and everything.
Yeah, so I think because I've been in the Portals ecosystem quite early, and I've been building since I had the opportunity to. A lot of the iterations that they've done, the improvements I've just kind of like kept up with. So yeah, a lot of the game that was built behind me, the mechanics would have been mainly built by me, and a lot of the stuff in Blender as well, built by me, and then all the decorations basically that you can kind of see, that you'll see in the game, and all the like placements and lighting. Brian has kind of like been instrumental in that. So it's been a team effort, because obviously the Dinodogs and the assets from the Dinodogs, that's all Adam. But for this particular game, we have worked very well as a team and created the game in a relatively short space of time. So, but yeah, I'm very collaborative. I don't know how long you've been in the Portals kind of system, but yeah, I try and help out as much as I can possibly with other builders as well, because I feel like it's probably the best way, and I really enjoy that. So yeah, I mean, if you're in the Discord or anything like that, you can just chat to me on there, or we can speak through DMs. I'd love to see what you're kind of building, and yeah, that'd be great.
I will also say Jamie has his own entity on Discord and the NFT space in general, with the Web3 space, which is Move Studios. Move Studios are, we're building this in collaboration with Move Studios, and you have a number of Move spaces as well. Yeah,
exactly. So yeah, that's part of my game building and Portals experience is under the brand of Move Studios. So I think there's four playable games. There's also I've built a city that you can experience as well. There's a couple of other things, and there's going to be avatars eventually as well. So it's
yes, we're working on the avatars.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's as Adam said, this game is being built for Dinodogs, in collaboration with Move Studios, because I kind of do Move Studios, so that's kind of collaboration. But
one other thing I'm just going to add to that is that we do have plans to do a sort of live stream at some point of building potentially some of these handheld weapons, or just props or something for Portals. So at some point, I've been talking to Miro about, because I know he's done this, about doing a live stream or even just a pre-record of the process of building something in a 3D package, texturing it, taking it to Blender, and then lastly uploading it to Portals. So that's something that we've got plans to do in the future. I know, Jamie, you've done a couple of recordings in the past as well.
Yeah. I think it's really cool to be able to do that, and especially one of the things that I think is really cool to do is be able to share how to build specifically in Portals and how to use the interactive studio, because that can be just a little bit of a learning curve, but I think once you see people do that, it actually helps quite a bit. So yeah.
Cool. Anyone else with a question? I think Dewhirst has his hand up. Everyone's so polite. Dewhirst. No. That's okay. Cool. Anything else we want to cover, guys, before we've been going for an hour? It's just so fun seeing all these dinos everywhere. Anyway, anything?
The only thing we need to reiterate is obviously the competition for the prizes.
Oh yes, yes, great call, mate. Why don't you explain that?
So just kind of iterating, obviously, to please take some screenshots of video recordings and post them on Twitter, and we'll be awarding some 3D dinos to some winners.
Yeah, so take a screenshot, take a video. You can choose between an OG and a 3D, but I would assume if you're a Portals holder, you're going to want a 3D. yeah, just tag ourselves, tag Dinodawg Kingdom, and tag Portals as well on X, and we will pick a winner. Great.
Thanks. So the only thing I wanted to mention is that we try and hold now like a monthly Dino cast. So we've had one recently. We'll have an upcoming Dino cast, which will basically focus on the launch of the game as we get closer to it. So we'll put notifications on Discord and Twitter, or X. So if you're following us, you'll see that, and then it'll be cool to have people jump in and listen to that as well.
Yeah, amazing. Come join the Discord.
From that, yeah,
I think we've covered it all.
For turning up.
Oh, in an hour. I love it.
Yeah, thanks everyone for turning up. Bus, thanks for coming along and giving us some insight to Portals as well. It's been really great.
Of course, congrats on the major milestone.
Thank you so much, Bus. Thanks for your support as well. And yeah, I'm so happy to see so many new users in here. So great, guys. Come check us out, and we will put this recording up on YouTube for everyone to catch up who couldn't make it. Cool. We done.
Thanks, everyone. Great seeing everyone. It's so awesome to see all these dinos in here.
Cool. I'm gonna stop the recording, but let's leave the space open for a bit if people want to come in anyway. Cool. See you guys soon. Bye.